Anyway, let's move on to this from Libs of TikTok.
The president is moving quickly to fill the clown car and round out his cabinet before he...
God, I hope you lose your job quickly. I normally don't say that about people. I hate it when people lose their job, but Miss Reed, you are an exception.
Moments ago, Trump announced that he has selected Fox Weekend morning show host, you can't make this up, Pete Hegseth, to serve as Secretary of Defense.
Well, he's an ex-service member. He rose to the rank of major.
Why not? The former and future president is moving quickly to fill the clown car and round out his cabinet before he changes his mind.
I have no idea what this video is. It's from E. Miles Chong. He's a Trump guy, so all right.
CNN edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister.
Well, okay, he didn't toss it, he dumped it, but whatever.
In June 2017, NBC News reported that Russian President Putin said he had compromising information about Trump. Actually, Putin said the opposite.
Do you have something damaging on our president?
Well, this is just another load of nonsense. Where would we get this information?
The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of immigrant children in cages. It turns out the photos were from 2014, during the Obama administration.
Exactly.
In November 2019, Newsweek falsely reported that President Trump was spending Thanksgiving golfing in Florida. He was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to U.S. troops. CBS aired a story in March of 2020, supposedly showing a New York hospital crowded with patients.
It's all hands on deck in America's hospitals.
It was actually file tape from Italy. A week later, CBS News mistakenly used the Italy video.
No, this is Twitter.
In May, the BBC and The Guardian reported because Trump wasn't wearing headsets, he didn't bother to listen to the translation of a speech by Italy's prime minister. But Trump was wearing his earpiece in his right ear, as always, said the White House. Newsweek reported Poland's first lady refused to shake Trump's hand, but later acknowledged she did. CNN.
Yeah, she just choked Melania's first. I mean, I don't know. I'm not Polish. I don't live in Poland. I don't know if that's a custom over there where a lady were to shake a lady's hand I don't know. Maybe that's something weird over there. Anyway, now we're dealing with all this negativity. A little bit of positivity, I think.
And way more in these last 5 days than Kamala Harris has done in her last 4 years, okay? This is exactly why America voted for him. I've never been so proud of my vote. So proud. He's been hiring and firing people, and he hasn't even been in office yet. Did y'all see who he appointed as border czar? So freaking excited, okay? Donald Trump has done.
Basically, he appointed AOC's worst nightmare. The guy that clowned her ass in Congress. And if you don't think the left is completely unhinged, Trump jokes about a third term in office. Yeah, to get that, he'd have to get the 28th or the 22nd Amendment, I think, of the United States Constitution repealed in 4 years. Good luck. We already did that. All right, we'll deal with this joker.
Trump, because I want cheap gas back. You stupid motherfucker, you're not getting cheap gas.
If we drill it domestically, we will get... We will get cheap gas.
Matter of fact, you're not getting cheap anything for the foreseeable future. That orange tub of lard isn't even in office yet, and the effects of him winning the election are already being felt. Companies are already preparing to hike up their prices as much as 15 to 20% just in preparation for those dumbass tariffs. People are already getting their Christmas bonuses cut because the companies they work for are having to order more product before it gets way more expensive.
Do you have any proof of this, or are you just talking out of your ass, boy? Because if I had to guess where you are is either in a college classroom or a high school classroom. Forgive me if I don't take anything you have to say seriously.
To do so. Because what you mouth-breathing troglodytes fail to understand is that a tariff isn't a tax on another country. It's a fine paid by an American business to import goods from another country.
No, it's a fine on a You know what? I will just... you know what? I'm going to just shut up, let him talk. And then I will let somebody else explain it.
Country. And all of y'all are about to get a very painful lesson on just how little the stuff we consume is actually made here. Well, it'll get...
Yeah. And the stuff that is made here will propagate.
Give American businesses an incentive to make their products here. You are so dense that light bends around you. You also...
So, to get... Wait a second. So you're the tolerant leftist crybaby that whines and complains about slave labor in China and Africa and all that crap? I guarantee you've used that argument because I guarantee you fucking hate capitalism. So it's fine to keep the cheap goods here. So obviously you're fine with the cheap slave labor in other nations.
Also don't understand how capitalism works. There is no company that will ever pay an American worker upwards of $15 to $20 an hour and then provide health insurance on top of that when they have the option of paying a 9-year-old kid in a Southeast Asian country pennies a day for the exact same work.
Yeah, except if there's a tariff on it, they will.
Not to mention, whether you like it or not, a very large portion of the agricultural workforce in the United States, you know, the people who make the food that goes into our grocery stores, are undocumented migrants.
No. America makes more than enough to feed itself, and we are one of the largest exporters of food in the world, if not the largest.
You really think getting rid of all them is somehow going to make it less expensive to go to the grocery store? And look, is it fucked up that we rely on grievously underpaying people in order to keep costs low? Absolutely. But that's fucking capitalism.
Okay, well, we could go to socialism and we could all be broke together. Hell, we're all sleeping in shitty tarp tents, but hey, somebody comes along every day and throws a potato at us.
Companies under capitalism have one goal and one goal only, and that is to make as much money as possible. And
yes, even with the food waste, Phoenix, we are still the largest exporter of food.
You are out of your goddamn fucking mind if you think they will ever willingly eat into their own profits rather than passing the cost onto people.
All right, I'm done with this. I can't fucking say this. Let's see. This is not from me. This is from somebody else. Take Toyota, for example. When the United States put tariffs on trucks coming from Japan, Toyota moved all their Toyota plants to the United States, hired American workers to make them. That's the point of a tariff. If Sony wants to sell their TVs in America, they'll build a factory and make them here. Anyway, that's the point of a tariff. It's to get a company to make their shit here. All right, I got to do this from Jesus Christ. TYT Sports. How Dana White, Joe Rogan, and the UFC influenced Trump's election. All right. How many people in this? I would say Joe Rogan's podcast pulls in more viewers than the UFC. What percentage of the U.S. population is watching the UFC on the regular? Maybe 2%. And that's what gave them that's what gave Trump the fucking election?
I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words because people love to hear from him. Dana, please.
Oh, by the way, you see that woman in white, that older lady in white? Do you know who she is? She is the first female chief of staff. Yeah, Donald Trump is such a sexist piece of shit. He put a woman in the most powerful position in his goddamn administration. She is second literally only to him. In many ways, chief of staff outranks the VP. Okay.
Whatever your deal is, or whatever the, I'm not a real political person.
Want to hear from him? Yeah.
He's endorsing a president that's almost being non-political at this point. He was rolling around, with Senate campaigns and House campaigns and governor campaigns and local races. I'd say Dana's fairly political, and it's also Donald Trump, so there's the celebrity factor.
One of the things that I've really tried to do through this whole thing is stay out of politics. I spoke and our friendship went to a whole nother level, and you couldn't ask for a more.
And also, Trump was one of the first people that allowed the UFC in the United States when it was almost dead. So there's that. Because again, I remember loyalty shit like that.
You win on the 16th. How about the thought of potentially having the president-elect put the belt around your waist that night?
I'm not against it. That'd be kind of cool. Have the president do that. President-elect, yeah. Oh, he's going to be there.
Honestly, that would be kind of cool. And why do I think Trump would actually do it? By the way, this is the fastest growing sport in the world.
The most recent wave of news came from this man, Campbell McLaren, the co-creator of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And he gave the...
Who? This wasn't a co-creator. Where are you getting these reports?
Following quote, which we should delve into. Remember, I am...
Where are you getting these reports? The Reno Gazette Journal? From 10 years ago. Yeah, you're a crackerjack reporter. Which, this is a lie. This motherfucker had nothing to do with co-creating anything with the UFC. Oh, wait, no! He created some reality television series called Combat America, which went nowhere.
The following quote, which we should delve into. Remember, I am a promoter, so I'm allowed a certain amount of hyperbole, he told Sportico. In 30 years, the sport has gone from being an outcast. Fast forward, the UFC, Dana White, and certainly Joe Rogan played an enormous part in Donald Trump's popularity, particularly with young men.
But it had nothing to do with MMA. I will say Joe Rogan might have played a part. I'll give you Joe Rogan. How big of a part, that's up for debate. But Dana White in the UFC? Nah.
He acknowledges that, and I think it's fairly obvious.
But even if they did, would that be different? What would your opinion have been if it was Kamala Harris that Joe Rogan and Dana White were licking the ass of?
That's an amazing thing to think about, right? In 30 years.
Remember, the Republicans used to be the big enemy of MMA. It was John McCain that called it human cockfighting. And hell, you can make an argument that that's why Barry Obama got elected then, if we're going off this fucking rhetoric.
It's gone from mainstream to political power. And to that I say, among many other variables involved in the nation's decision, yes.
No. Donald Trump did not get elected. Donald Trump did not get elected because of fucking Dana White or Joe Rogan. That helped. I'll say that helped. But it's nowhere near the only reason. By the way, Donald Trump's son, Barron Trump, you should look into the WWE, you tall bastard.
The mighty and powerful Joe Rogan.
No further than the coalition they have built with their allies who have large platforms and massive...
Yeah, here's the thing. Unlike the mainstream media, which Kamala Harris relied on, Rogan, Theo Vaughn, they had to build their goddamn platforms. Fucking, The View had a platform built in. One, they started with Barbara Walters. Two, they were on network television. Of course, the bored wine box moms, housewives of America are gonna watch them. All right, fine, fuck it. Next Friday at 1, Fiera, I will have a debate with you or a talk with you on whatever in the holy high hell you want. November 15th, 1 p.m. Fiera. Okay, fine. Next Friday, the 22nd, at 1 p.m.
Going to stop the war in Palestine. Trump told him back, we're going to stop it. I'm going to stop it. This is the same man who has told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to finish the job. Not to mention Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, whose family welcomed Benjamin Netanyahu to sleep in Jared's home bedroom when he visited.
Who gives a fuck?
Said Gaza's beachfront property will be valuable. Trump also said he would crush pro-Palestine protesters on college campuses and even expel students who participate. So much for freedom from the Freedom Party, huh? This is a sports league that at one point put out a documentary about Donald Trump on their airwaves. After January 6th, they quietly took down the documentary from their platform, though White never really went after Trump or what occurred after.
Because Trump wasn't responsible for it, and January 6th was nothing more than some people getting rowdy.
He's got it good! It's about to get dirty, man. I know. That sounds like a gunshot.
After that, it was just silently put away. In the build-up to the 2020 election.
See, this is why I've seriously considered just phasing out talking to people. All right, before we get into next, there's this. Destiny, the blue-haired jackass from Twitch, said, my Uber driver bought me my hot chocolate today on bike. It took 45 minutes, and this is what happened as soon as I pick up the bag to bring it inside. This is Trump's America. You ordered Uber Eats and selected the guy that had the bike, not the car. You also didn't take delivery of the bag yourself for whatever reason. You went with contactless delivery. I don't know how to tell you this. COVID is not a thing anymore. But my biggest problem is you fucking ordered hot chocolate. You're a grown-ass man! You shouldn't be ordering coffee at all! Or hot chocolate! Make it your goddamn self! Yeah, not only orders hot chocolate, but pays an Uber driver to deliver it to him. And it wasn't even an Uber driver. It was someone with a jackass on a bicycle. Anyway, now we're gonna go to this lady. Now we're gonna go to this lady.
Here's what I want to say. I'm sick of hearing that conservatives are tired of hearing about trans people. They're tired of hearing about gay people and black people and women and whatever.
I'm not tired of hearing about you. I'm tired of hearing about your fake-ass problems that don't actually fucking exist. Like it or not, the country isn't fucking racist.
They're tired of it. Okay, let's talk about what I'm tired of. I'm tired of hearing from motherfuckers who can't read.
You mean like the average black student in a predominantly black area with predominantly black teachers and a predominantly black school staff? Like in places like Chicago, for example, where the average student can't read beyond a 4th grade level. This is the problem with the universities. When black chicks attend it, they think they're the smartest motherfuckers in the universe.
Who don't read, who have no reason to think they're an expert on anything, and they talk louder than everybody, and they think they know what.
You mean like you fucking leftists, you stupid fucking
what's best for this country, and they don't know what's best for their own fucking house. I'm tired of being the bigger person about you all disclaiming that every black person who has anything is a DEI hire.
No, I don't say that. But when it comes to people like, oh, I don't know, Kamala Harris, I will say that because it's actually true. When I see a black doctor, my first thought is, oh, he's probably a qualified doctor, not that he is a DEI hire. But when I see some dipshit like Kamala Harris get a job she is completely unqualified for, I say DEI hire. When I see an airline, I forget the name of it, say they want to hire 50% female and black pilots, and I see a black or a female pilot, then yeah, my initial thought is the only reason they got the job was not because they were the best, but because of all that stupid bullshit. Do you understand how that works? I will happily educate you on this, young lady.
I'm tired of acting like the...
Again, but I don't think you've ever fucking once in your entire life, in your entire nappy-haired life, had a conversation with somebody that had a difference of opinion with you. Challenge your viewpoints.
Media is doing a good job because they're avoiding talking about it. I actually think that they're doing a really bad job. Just like they avoided talking about COVID and Trump's COVID response for the past 4 years.
COVID started at the tail end of Trump's presidency, and COVID was surrounded by a mountain of lies. COVID was nothing more than a bad fucking flu. That's it. That's all. What about the 2 million? Yeah, elderly people died. That's what they do. They die. And they inflated the numbers. When a person went into the hospital and they had COVID, but also 6 bullet holes in them, they counted it. Well, sorry, but what killed him? COVID or the 6 bullet holes in him? COVID? Could have been COVID. Could have been COVID. Do you still wear a mask, music combo? Because I remember you got big salty at me because I said take the fucking mask off. We never should have wore the mask. Oh, God, you still wear the mask? Oh, God, you're hopeless. You're hopeless. No, I don't. I think you're fucking stupid wearing it at this point. You've already had Corona. Or you're immunized because you probably are a person that's gotten the 94 variant vaccinations.
Biden was. Trump would have been re-elected had he done a even tiny bit of a good job on COVID. He did a terrible job. And the media wanted to...
So the fact that there were states where vans were pulling up with ballots at 3 a.m., that didn't do anything? Trump did the best he could with the limited time that he had.
Get back to normal so quickly.
Honestly, if I was president, you would have hated my response. I would have said, no, we're not doing this. This is a flu. Fuck you. The country is not shutting down. I am telling all the governors, do not shut your state down. This is not that big of a fucking deal. I wouldn't have hired that fear-mongering piece of shit known as Anthony Fauci to whip everyone up into a panic over what was a bad fucking flu.
That they just decided to never bring it up, so he doesn't wear that badge. But things were shit 4 years ago, and it was largely because of him.
Well, unfortunately, if your immune system's compromised, you're going to have the same reaction to COVID as you would to strep throat, the flu, common cold. Coronavirus was not that special, okay? Stop being a fucking crybaby. Take the fucking mask off and go back to normal life. And honestly, you know what? Well, at some point, the week have to be called anyway.
He got COVID and almost died after telling us all it was a hoax. And finally, for a moment in time, we saw that the emperor has no clothes. And people said, fuck it. I'm tired of being in the house. I'd love a vaccine. I don't want this.
Which Trump was the one that launched that. Biden, just for whatever reason, in your tiny mind, gets the credit.
Guy to be in charge when something worse happens. And guess what you just did? I want to say.
Fine, you want to keep wearing it, look like a ridiculous freak. I don't care. Go ahead, music combo. I don't give a shit. Wear your mask at your grocery store job and keep looking like a freak. I will continue to make fun of you. We should have never done the stupid masking bullshit to begin with. If you can breathe through it, you can get the virus.
Sorry for what's about to happen, but I also want to say it's disrespectful to all of the black women who told you this was the time it mattered to show up.
Oh, really? So we have to completely fuck the country by electing someone that didn't get one single vote to the office of the presidency because of what black women want? I don't give a fuck what black women want.
Of all the times. Sorry you're not going to get everything you want with this candidate, but this is when it matters. And you didn't.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. I elected the guy that had my life being awesome under him. By the way, my dear, there's these things. They're called straightening agents. Fucking use them!
You didn't. And the conservatives are too stupid. And no one wants to say that because their feelings...
Oh my god. You have literally made this entire video about your fucking feelings, my dear. If you cannot literally see why people voted for Trump after 4 years of Biden, then you're all about your fucking feels, bitch.
Are they too stupid to make a good choice? And now we have a bunch of pundits circle jerking, a bunch of Nepo babies circle jerking who have never met a person who struggled to pay for anything.
Have you? Because generally when I see ultra-liberal black women, they've either A, never paid for anything because it came from a elite household, or B, they have lived on the government tit their entire life. Here's a thought. Have a fucking shower, put some straightening agents in your hair, straighten that fucking nappy ass shit you've got going on. And put a fresh pair of glasses on, sweetheart. There's a reason Trump won. Okay? And it ain't because the country's fucking racist, bitch. Alright, that ends this one. This is the show. Good night, everybody.